Thank you, everyone. So, if you could live every moment of your life mindfully, stay calm and composed, even in the middle of rush, crazy hour traffic. Stay very patient when your partner is screaming at the top of their voice, and feel happy when your colleagues are doing better than you. Then I have news for you: you're not a human being. I'm Saloni Singh, and as Dr. Saiban said, I'm a life coach and mindfulness coach. I help people live with more harmony and joy in their life and in their relationships. So, a lot of people ask me, what is mindfulness? So, I tell them that in simple words, mindfulness is being where you are, paying full attention to the present experience you are having with all your senses, your body, your mind, with everything you can feel without any judgment and with gentle kindness. So I would be asking all of you, I can see a very few of you, so it's good you can pay more attention. I would be asking all of you to give me one thing which actually most of us have, but we don't have to give, we're not able to give it, and that is our attention, yeah, full attention. According to Harvard studies, your mind wanders 47% of the time. Imagine, in this short span of life, half of the time you are not even there. Just imagine, and what is the impact of that? That creates a lot of stress, anxiety, anxiousness, and feeling of emptiness in us actually. So I would ask all of you to actually have some mindful moments. No, it's okay. Just experience some mindful moments with me. So can I ask all of you, please, you as well, to just stand up for a minute and put whatever you have in your hands. I know you are preparing for your talks, so I would request all of you to just stand up.
Standing ovation for you.
So I'll just take a minute for the guests to come. So if you can just stand up for a minute, and I will demonstrate, put things which you have in your hands, please. And I will demonstrate 2 mindful breaths. So I would ask all of you to put your hands like this. And on the inhale, you will open your palms up with a deep inhale. And when you go down, you will close your face and you will say in your head, I drop all my thoughts, all my to-dos, and I come in the present moment. So let's try. With a deep inhale, I drop all my thoughts and my to-dos and come in the present moment. Beautiful. One more breath. And relax. I drop all my thoughts, all my to-dos and come in the present moment. Thank you so much. Now I would ask you, before you sit down, turn to the person next to you, whoever is next to you, and you're going to wish each other. Just look into each other's eyes. Yes, please. And like me, just put your hands in Namaste pose. And you will repeat after me. The divine in me bows to the divine in you.
Divine in me.
May you stay connected with the highest in you.
May you stay
Connected with the highest in you. Thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause and have a seat. So I believe as a coach, working with people on mindfulness, that we cannot live every moment of our life with mindfulness, but we can definitely bring such mindful moments in our lives if we want. And that can be done with a lot of different ways, like mindful breathing, mindful eating, mindful drinking, mindful listening, and really being present with other people. So before I go further, as I ask for your attention, I would request again for that full attention, and I will tell you a short story. Can I have the mic, please? So the story is the story of a king who was ruling a huge kingdom. Thank you. So this is a story of a king who was ruling a huge kingdom, and one morning at 3 a.m., the king woke up with 3 questions. And he could not go back to sleep after that. He kept on thinking of these 3 questions. So he called all his ministers in the court that morning and said, you need to give me answer to these questions. And the minister said, okay, what are the questions? He said, number 1 question is, what is the most important time? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important thing to do? Minister said, oh, that's very easy, king. You are the most important person. You're the king. And when you became king, that was the most important time. And to gain more power, more money, spread your kingdom is the most important thing to do. Simple. King was not very happy. He was like, no, I'm not satisfied. Ministers were wondering, oh, our job's in danger now. One wise minister said, there is a sage who lives on the top of mountain outside the kingdom. Why don't you go to him, king, and ask him? He knows the answers to all mysteries of life. King was very happy. So off he started, and by the time he reached the mountain, it was a huge kingdom. It was already evening. He put his horse down and he took his soldiers and he started climbing the mountain. By the time he reached the top of the mountain, there was a small hut. It was already night. He entered the hut. The sage was meditating. So king sat there. 1 hour passed by. 2 hours passed by. The sage was still meditating. So king actually fell asleep. It was night time. And his eyes actually opened up with the chirping of birds. It was already morning. He quickly sat up and he noticed the sage was not there. So he came out of the hut and he was mesmerized by the view. He has never seen such a beautiful morning. The whole mountain was lit up with first rays of the sun. Birds were chirping. It was such a beautiful scenery. He was so happy. He started moving towards the edge of the cliff, from where he could see his whole kingdom. He was filled with joy and love to look at his kingdom, and he felt, that's why I'm king, to serve all these people. And he was so happy. Suddenly he feels a tap on his shoulder. It was the sage as he turned around with his sword in his hand. And he put the sword to his neck and says, King, tell me, what is the most important time? Who is the most important person? And what is the most important thing to do? King was really scared. He was on the edge of the cliff. Death was on both sides. Suddenly he softened and smiled with a twinkle in his eyes. The sage knew that the king got the answers. He put the sword down and said, go home, king. You know what you needed to know. And king goes back to the palace happily. So now who will tell me what is the most important time? Now, that's right. What did you say? Now, that's right. So theoretically, to be honest, we all know that. Theoretically, we know past does not exist. Future we can't comprehend. The only moment is now. But in reality, would you take one moment to think how many moments of your life you really live in now? Because, as I said, half of the time we are either reminiscing the past or we are worrying about our future. We are never actually in the now. When our child is speaking to us, we are thinking of things which we need to worry. Yeah? And when we are actually with ourselves, we're thinking something else. So who is the most important person? Who will tell me? Who is the most important person in your life? Yourself? A lot of people answer when I tell this story. A lot of people say the person with the sword in hand. So the most important person is the person you are with. So when you're with yourself, definitely you are the most important person. But most of the time when we are with ourselves, we are thinking about our family, about our patients, about the OT list, about different things. We are not even aware of our thoughts and emotions, right? And when we are with somebody else, whether it's our partner or our children, we are thinking of something else then. And when we are doing something, then again, we are in our thoughts. So the most important person is who you are with. So whoever you're with, pay full attention to that particular person. And when you are with a task, of course, you pay full attention to the task. And being such fine surgeons, I believe that is the most important skill you all have, or at least aspire to have, doing fine surgeries. So that you can be calm, relaxed, and 100% in that moment. And what is the most important thing to do? I think most of you got that. Did you? Yes, with love and joy. So when the king was standing at the edge and he was feeling that enormous joy and love for his kingdom, he got it. That he is here to contribute and serve with a lot of love and joy in every moment. And when I heard this story from one of my teachers, I felt this was the most important spiritual stories, which actually is very practical as well. So what I do as a coach is, how do we bring all three components in our lives in day-to-day basis? How can we actually incorporate that? So I'll be sharing a few things with you today, how you can bring more mindfulness and why to bring mindfulness. I was speaking with some of the ophthalmologists and doing some research actually before my talk. And I came to know that you have to manage so many things. It's not just the patient's expectations, the relatives' expectations, not just the surgery, pre-operative, post-operative, technicians, everything. So you're multitasking most of the times, right? So when you are mindful, you actually bring more focus, more concentration, relaxation, and also you are able to connect better with your patients and even in your personal lives. And when you are happier and calm in all areas of your life, that's when you can perform better as well as doctors. So some simple ways you can bring mindfulness in your life is like this. I usually give a task to a lot of my clients. Brushing. So first thing is brushing. So when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, most of the time we are lost in some other world, yes? Making a to-do list or emails or thinking of patients, whatever. So sometimes do brush with left hand. Sometimes just brush with left hand, that really helps to become more mindful because you are not used to it. Yes, so you feel the touch of brush on your teeth. You feel the taste and aroma of the paste and really be present in the moment. Similarly, when you're eating, just take a couple of bites with your left hand or eat from the sides which normally you don't eat. Yeah? So just do for certain things mindfully. I know you can't eat all of your meal mindfully, but just a couple of bites. Similarly, when next time you drink a cup of tea, just really feel the aroma. Feel the tea going through your esophagus and feel at least a couple of sips. Really enjoy and mindfully drink that tea. So you can bring mindfulness just in all these moments of your life and you will start feeling that how that will make you more relaxed, more calm and help you become more present in every situation in your life. So I would just end this presentation giving you experience of 30 seconds of mindfulness. So I would ask all of you to just put both of your feet on the floor, put your hands on your lap, and if there's a laptop, please put it on the side, sir. Thank you. And close your eyes. And we'll start with a deep inhale. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just look down with a soft gaze. Just look down with a soft gaze. A deep inhale with a sound and feel your lungs are filling up with air that is clean, pure, and it's reaching every part of your body. And when you exhale any tension, worry you are holding. One more deep breath. And this time feel this breath is cleansing, purifying your face, your jaw, your lungs, your stomach, your liver, reaching every internal organ of your body. And when you exhale slowly, as if you're blowing a candle, just open your mouth a little when you exhale and just release any tension you're holding on. Wonderful. One more last breath. This time, imagine you are inhaling light, which is full of peace and calm. And it's filling every cell of your body with light. And just exhale the stress you're holding.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
We would like to thank ma'am for this mindful talk, especially before we bring our mistakes. The first thing we have to do is be mindful when we operate, right?